Hey, what is going on YouTube? It's Blue. We are back with another video. This video is going to be a deep dive into the two different legendaries, Celestial Spirits, as well as our best currently, Draught of Deep Focus. The video is because of my last video. I made some statements saying, hey, I feel pretty strongly about Celestial Spirits. I think it's going to end up probably being our best in slot legendary for single target. It's going to take over, and that's going to be great. End up getting some feedback. Hey, some other people weren't feeling so great about it, and then it's like, hey, put some numbers behind that, don't make it so feely crafty. And I do want to stay. There were some numbers behind it, but just the idea that other individuals weren't really feeling comfortable about it, not feeling like it was strong, I feel like that's enough to warrant me just going back, double checking. So that's what this video is about. I am a little under the weather, so I do apologize. We are up late on the PTR, but this video, just a heads up, it's not going to be a great video as far as content is concerned. We're going to be looking at more of the stats, my thoughts. I just want to show you guys everything, be transparent about all of my results, and then I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my ideas, my personal opinions about what the legendary is going to be, as the patch progresses and blah, blah, blah. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, first of all, before we go ahead and look at the information, if that's all you're concerned about, skip to the later video. But just so we can be perfectly clear, this is where I tested my fights. Now there is an issue with this location. We'll go ahead and show you right now. No matter what type of convoke I do, you're going to see. Is that a larger convoke? Oh, I didn't know I was wearing a legendary. You're going to see I'm hitting this sucker right here, okay? So no matter where I stand, and Convoke is just a nasty spell in general, that it's really, I don't think there's any place where I can go to make it perfect. So that's an issue, okay? Another issue, I think we're in Draught of Deep Focus right now. Okay, perfect. So the stats, this is an issue. My stats right now, are 36% and 50 mastery. Now if I switch to Celestial Alignment, and I do have to take off this trinket, okay, we're at 38, so we have 2% more crit, and 45 mastery, so we have 5 less mastery. So unfortunately, these two gears are not perfectly similar, so that's an issue. Another issue in the data is I did not pop my quantum device. I did not actually trigger my quantum device anytime in the fights. Quantum device can either trigger my crit or my mastery. Now, I didn't do that because I just wanted the stats. I wanted to somehow make the fight as consistent as possible. Now, I will say in doing that, quantum device would probably benefit more a larger convoke than versus a smaller convoke. So unfortunately, that is just the case, and I chose to do that to be consistent. I chose to do it that way, even though it may, benefit one more than the other. Another issue that we're going to see is I did 11 total fights for each legendary, and I did a duration of 5 minutes. Now, 5 minutes was just something I chose because it's pretty, I feel like that's normal, right? Just do a 5-minute fight. It's pretty average. Unfortunately, it's not a good duration of a fight to do to make these numbers comparable. The issues with the 5-minute fight is I can fit 3 standard convokes in a 5-minute fight, but I can only fit 5 half convokes in a 5-minute fight. Now, what you guys probably know from convoke and a half convoke is you need 2 half convokes to make it fair, right? So for me to make this completely accurate, I should have done a 5-minute and 20-second fight, 5-minute 30-second fight, so I can squeeze in that 6th convoke so I can make the numbers even. So the numbers may be misrepresented in that way as well. And then lastly, another way that the numbers may be off is Draught of Deep Focus. I did not use Heart of the Wild at all for any of my testing. I did not use any boom conforms for any of my testing, and we know that Drought of Defocus benefits more from Boomkin, Sunfire, or not Sunfire, Moonfire, than we would with Celestial Alignment. So there, it's also errors in the testing. And the last thing to be said too is, in all of my testing, Bonded Hearts was not taken into account. And that's just because I'm testing this by myself. You know, Bonded Hearts is going to have also a greater benefit with Celestial Spirits than the standard Convoke, because you're going to be using it more often. With all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers, now that you guys kind of have these disclaimers. Alright, so here we are. So I know there's a lot here. I'm just kind of walk you through a bit of it. So we got Celestial Alignment. Here are my 11 tests. We averaged about 5.35 damage. Here's my Drought 5-minute fights. We average about 5.63. So the difference of these, Drought is an increase of 0.21 DPS. Okay. Now we know that, hey, one more Convoke in there could buff up these numbers. We know that, hey, Boomy form could buff up these numbers. So we're just going to say whatever, right? To me, it's still pretty close in damage, but there's it is. Now, if you're interested, I'll subtract bites, Convoke bites. So there was about 9 bites off of a 5-minute fight. Now I also did see, hey, what would it be if I got 6 Convokes, and it equals out to about maybe 11, right? Where the Drought of Defocus actually got 13 Convokes. So the difference here is about 3. That's actually wrong because it was going off this one. So the difference here is about 3. And then Feral Frenzy. How many Feral Frenzy hits? We got about 20, whereas this one we got about 7. So the very interesting thing with the Legendary Celestial Alignment is it reads that, hey, it's going to target an exceptional spell more often. For whatever reason, I really don't know why it is, but Feral Frenzy is our exceptional spell, and when I first read that, I thought that was an error. I learned through the testing that that definitely is not an error, and the regular Convoke, let's say with Drought of Defocus, will actually bite more often. Because Celestial Alignment is putting a priority on Ferocious Bite, it is actually like really messing up your bites. It's not drastic, but yeah, it sucks. It's putting a priority on your bites, whereas this is putting a priority on your Ferocious Frenzies, Feral Frenzies, where this guy's putting priority on your bites. So, Blizzard, if you're watching this video, please make a fix, because that's an issue. Okay, anyways, let's go on. And this is one of the reasons why, obviously, we made the first video where I said Celestial Spirits is going to be a really good legendary for us. Hypothesis was, hey, we're getting the 400 mastery buff twice as often, right? Now, what this is eventually going to do is your bites, the bite windows that you have, are going to be affected by that 400 mastery buff more often, right? So it's going to make our mastery go up quite significantly. Our bites are about 790k, whereas the bites average out about 788. So it's a small difference here, but what's very interesting is that, hey, I went ahead and see what are the total casts of bite. We have about 48, where this is about 49, almost 50. So there's a difference about almost 2 bites. So, and that comes from, you know, Drought of Defocus, the full Convoke actually biting more often. So I'm guessing that's probably the case here. But even with about 2 more bites, the damage is less than the Celestial, the damage of those bites are less than the Celestial Spirits. So that's it for the information. What I want to go ahead and do for you now is go ahead and give you my hypothesis. Essentially, the damage of those damage, to me, were very close. Okay, I think that the legendaries in general are going to be very close, and we need to look at other ways to compare these two. Now, please understand that the Celestial Spirits is going to make your bite a larger percentage of your damage, okay? Now that is important, and that's significant moving into patch 9.1, because although the damage might have been in the favor of Drought of Defocus, with Celestial Spirits having more of the overall damage in your bites, it's actually going to benefit with Taste of Blood. Okay, I have a 226 Taste of Blood. As you level up Taste of Blood, and Taste of Blood is an extremely powerful conduit, as we level up Taste of Blood to its final potential, you're going to want your overall damage. You want most of your damage to be in your bites so that it can be increased greater. Now we know with Drought of Defocus, some of that bite damage is taken away, not that it's taken away or whatever, but it's put into our rips and our rakes, right? So with that said, Celestial Spirit Legendary is going to have a greater benefit with Taste of Blood being increased. Again, with that said, you can probably make the same argument with Conflux of the Element, since Celestial Spirits is Feral Frenzying more often. Conflux of the Elements is probably going to benefit more often with the Drought of Defocus. So you can go ahead and make that argument. I don't think it's going to be as strong as something like Taste of Blood affecting Celestial Spirits as much, but that's that. Hey, what is going on, everybody? This is me, next day, finished editing the video. I'll go ahead and upload this soon. And yes, I'm still wearing the same clothes. Still feeling pretty crappy, a little worse than last night, so I'm glad I got that video recorded. Excuse me. But I just want to go ahead and say, first off, like, I know there's drama between me and the Feral Discord, and I know sometimes there's a lot of hate that gets triggered through that way, and a lot of people that probably don't even know what's going on, what really happened. But I just want to go ahead and say, first off, the intention of this channel, obviously, was not to troll everybody that plays Feral Druid, was not to give misinformation. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I understand a lot of you guys want it. And this is something, yeah, it's just like, hey, you know, don't take what I say face value, even though for me, you know, I did a bit of testing, and it's just like, for me, it was a no-brainer. You know, but it's like, I understand you guys want me to do this, but you guys, please understand, this is me putting in hours and hours of work to do these testings, you know, for you guys, for a community, you know. So for you guys just to bash me because somebody says that I'm always wrong, I always give misinformation, you know, you guys can check back to my history, but I don't think I've misinformed the community at all in any way, you know. So just chill out, you guys. If somebody else wants to take on the opportunity and actually do good quality testing and give good quality results that aren't inaccurate, I think the last time somebody tried to do that was when somebody was saying Cat Eye Curia was our best legendary, you know? So it's a joke. It really is a joke, you know? I spent a lot of time for you guys, you know, so chill out, you know? Chill out, you guys. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Take it easy. Peace.